So what is going on, guys? I'm Black Ops Amazing. Welcome back to another video on the channel where today we're going to be talking about, well, all of the things that have been going on with Activision over the past week or so, especially regarding Call of Duty Vanguard, because they've recently come out and said what they think the problem is as to why that game hasn't been successful compared to previous Call of Duty titles, which is very interesting because what they told us is something I said a year ago, along with some other stuff as well. So a bunch of really interesting topics to get through in this video. I think you guys are going to be interested, so sit back, relax, and, well, let's take a look. So the first thing that I saw that I thought was really surprising was a tweet that Charlie Intel put out where they said, in Activision's annual report filed with SEC on Friday, the company says Vanguard sales didn't meet expectations because of the World War II setting plus not enough innovation. It says this year's game will correct those with the modern setting and innovation. There are currently 3,000 people working on COD. Taking a close look at the report, it reads, Call of Duty, our largest franchise, continue to see the benefits of our initiatives to expand reach, engagement, and player investment in 2021. The Warzone free-to-play experience continued to engage tens of millions of monthly players, including many in countries outside of our traditional regions, creating numerous opportunities for player investment in in-game content and our premium releases. While Call of Duty remains one of the most successful entertainment franchises of all time, our 2021 premium release didn't meet our expectations, we believe primarily due to our own execution. The game's World War II setting didn't resonate with some of our community, and we didn't deliver as much innovation in the premium game as we would have liked. We are certainly addressing both of these issues with the 2022 launch. Development of the 2022 Premium and Warzone experience is being led by Activision's renowned Infinity Ward studio. We are working on the most ambitious plan in Call of Duty history, with over 3,000 people now working on the franchise, and a return to the Modern Warfare setting that delivered our most successful title ever. So there are a couple of really interesting things in here. One, they admit, or they believe, funnily enough, I also agree, that the reason this year's Call of Duty has been a failure in terms of, well, past games was for two reasons. One being the World War II setting, and two, because they didn't innovate as much. And I also think both of these come hand in hand. Like I said at the beginning, I said a year ago when I first heard that Vanguard was going to be another World War II game, I thought this was the wrong decision to go, just because I personally feel like people are past this setting now. That's at least how I feel. It could be any game on earth. It doesn't have to be COD, Battlefield, whatever, a new IP. But as long as it's a World War II setting game, straight away it's not something that really interests me anymore. I think mainly because we've had so many World War II games in the past, especially the earlier days of Call of Duty. Every one of those was set during World War II, up until COD 4 broke that routine. But even then, after, we had World at War, which was another World War II game. I just think we've had so many of them in the past. I kind of got bored of that setting, and I know people can also use that example for Modern Warfare. We've had a ton of Modern Warfare setting games now, but I don't know. There's just something about the modern setting compared to World War II that just feels more fresh, or there's more you can do with it. The World War II setting for me just feels a bit more repetitive than anything. And to me, this also goes hand in hand with the other thing that they said, which was that they didn't innovate as much. And that, I also think, has something to do with the World War II setting. Like I said, I just don't think there's as much you can do with this era, because it's based off more realism. Games in this setting tend to stick more to history, whereas with the modern setting, you can innovate a lot more. There's a lot more variety you can choose from in terms of maps, weapons, vehicles. You're just more limited with World War II. So that part, I massively agree with them. It was just a mistake on their part going with this setting again. After Vanguard, I doubt we'll be seeing another Call of Duty World War II title ever again, or at least not for a very, very long time. But something else I did catch on in here, maybe it's nothing, but they said development of the 2022 Premium and Warzone experience is being led by Activision's renowned Infinity Ward studio. Infinity Ward have made some of the most successful Call of Duty titles we've ever seen. Their last one, Modern Warfare, back in 2019, being the most successful COD ever. One of their other studios, being Treyarch, I would argue has equally been as successful as Infinity Ward. Clearly, because COD 2019 was the most successful, then you can't really say that Treyarch has been more successful than Infinity Ward, but to me they're pretty much near each other. However, the other studio, Sledgehammer, well, if we look at all of their games, Advanced Warfare, World War II, and now Vanguard, just on a personal level, I don't think any of their games have been brilliant. I mean, if it was up to me, I'd just turn them into a side studio now, just because any game that they have made which they've had 3 chances. I haven't really enjoyed, so anything we get from them in the future, no matter if it is a modern setting or not, I'm always going to have that reservation. Should I even buy their game? Should I try it out? And it kind of felt that's what Activision were in a way saying in this report, that this year's title in 2022 is coming from their renowned Infinity Ward studio, compared to this year's, which was from Sledgehammer, who, well, from the community, don't have the best track record of releasing, I don't know how to word it, some of the most popular CODs. Advanced Warfare wasn't popular, World War II also wasn't. It was very hyped up in the beginning. I remember when the trailer released it got a ton of likes, but that was mainly because we had gone from boost jumping and jetpacks for a few years, back to boots on the ground, and we hadn't seen a World War II game in quite a while, so I do think that game was very hyped up, but it was clear to see as soon as it released, yeah, it wasn't very popular. It did get better towards the end, but since COD has a 1-year life cycle, you have 1 year to make the game good before people move on. And then obviously Vanguard speaks for itself, so for me, yeah, Sledgehammer haven't released a brilliant COD. I don't know whose decision it was to make a World War II game, Sledgehammer or Activision's, but it was clearly a bad one. Carrying on from this though, in another tweet put out by Charlie Intel, they said, Activision also says there's over 650 million downloads of Call of Duty Mobile, and that the active players on mobile each month in 2021 almost matched the active console and PC player base. This part of the report says, we also continue to demonstrate the potential for our console and PC franchises on mobile. Call of Duty Mobile enjoyed a record year following its launch in China, with an annual consumer spend on the title of well over 1 billion. Over 650 million people have downloaded COD Mobile around the world, and the number of people experiencing Call of Duty on mobile each month almost matched that of those playing on console and PC in 2021. This is no mean feat given the success of the free-to-play Warzone experience on console and PC, but we see an even greater opportunity ahead. We are building a sizable and talented internal development team that is working on a mobile version of Warzone that we expect will help take Call of Duty to new heights. We knew before this that COD Mobile was becoming bigger, and especially now with them working on Warzone for the mobile, we can already see that the revenue for this game is massive. The player base on mobile is massive. In fact, those numbers almost match that of people on console and PC combined in 2021. You could put that down to COD 2021 being bad, but there's no doubt that COD Mobile is becoming big. And we can see the difference because if we take a look at their annual report, it tells us that Activision's net bookings decreased by 464 million in 2021 compared to 2020. So these are sales from Vanguard compared to Cold War. There is a 464 million drop. It is important to note that the company's overall earnings still increased, which was mainly down to Candy Crush and the amount of revenue they earn off that game. But when it came to COD, sales of Vanguard compared to Cold War were $464 million lower, which shows how much that game flopped. And when I say flopped, I'm talking about compared to any regular game. In terms of the Call of Duty franchise, it's obviously still quite a bit. And what's super interesting about all of this is if we take a look at the 2022 global games market, the mobile side of gaming is actually a lot bigger than any other sector. Console, PC, this chart tells us console gaming earned 58.6 billion, PC games earned 38 billion, whereas mobile games earned 103 billion, more than any other sector. And it makes sense, there are more phones out there than consoles, PlayStations, Xboxes, Nintendos. It's more accessible, so it would make sense that the mobile side of gaming is more profitable and earns more money than console or PC, which would also explain why Activision are focusing a lot on mobile gaming, especially with them working on bringing Warzone to mobile. So yeah, the overall thing we can take from this is Vanguard in terms of Call of Duty titles is a flop. Activision have admitted themselves that doing another World War II game was one of the main reasons for this. Also combined with the fact that they didn't innovate as much, which I do think has a big part to play. That combines with the World War II setting. Some people would also say it's just because Vanguard is bad, the zombie side especially. Treyarch didn't get too long to work on it. And whilst of course that does have a big part to play, even if we look at day one sales where people wouldn't have known if Vanguard was good or bad, where people wouldn't have had the chance to try it out yet, from day one sales, even those were a lot lower. So that tells us that yes, Vanguard being bad could have a part to play, but it was more so just down to people not wanting another World War II title. Perhaps people aren't excited for Sledgehammer's games, and I don't think it's something we're going to see again. And I would even say I'd rather not see another Sledgehammer game. I don't care if it sounds harsh. You've had 3 chances. So there we go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, hopefully you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, drop a like rating. Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest videos on the channel. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, goodbye.